Without further ado, I would like to humbly invite our respected speaker of today's CEO talk, Dr. Mohammad Sabur Khan, to deliver his speech. And I would like to mention we are broadcasting this session live on Facebook, Pusat Siswaza, UKM. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Really, thank you very much for introduction and also the introduction of this to this program. So you see that sometimes as we are mentioning that Industrial Revolution 4.0, I'm quite sure everybody is agree that technology is one of the key component nowadays for anything, anywhere to make yourself successful. As we understood to sing your theme song, you see, if we just consider 20 years back or 15 years back or 30 years back, we never think that there should be any theme song for any institute. But nowadays, it's very common. And this theme song, while anyone is saying, I'm quite sure they can easily recall a lot of this previous history, that what's going on, who founded this university, what activities is going on. At the same time, seeing your theme song, one of these records came to my mind because you see, you showed that the cricket tournament in your theme song. So luckily it came to my mind that our university came 2 times to UK to participate in the friendship match. That's all. Yeah. So thank you very much for a wonderful theme song. Okay, so again, thank you very much. Because as I already mentioned, the technological revolution, which is now a key factor in every success, in everywhere. So I'm quite sure that this audience, those who are sitting in front of me, everyone is aware about this one. So I don't like to go through each and every point, rather I just like to give you one of the sum up in respect of my experience or my idea. And of course, it will be good for us if we interact with the question and answer session, because everything is available due to the opportunity of the Google Uncle. So whatever I am telling, I am quite sure that you can learn better than this from searching from the Google Uncle. So as I must say that the industrial management and definitely without technology, if we follow the traditional system, it will not be possible for expand any business opportunity. Because as our Professor Saladab Imran is rightly pointed out, because once upon a time the employability was considered one of the key factor of the success of university. But nowadays the trend is completely changed. I think nowadays the entrepreneurial activities will identify that how much your university education system really effective or not. Just few seconds back, Dr. Imran is shared with me that PCOM, the former president, Dr. Lee, I think he was your alumni. He was a very good friend of mine. I was really surprised because he visited my university and my company at least 4 times, and I was the former president of Bangladesh IT Association. So we are very well connected each other from 2002 to until today. And I was also a very active member of one of the ASSOCIO, the Asian Oceanian Computing Association. So Dadu Lee is also one of your one of your alumni. So that is a great success. And I must say, the employability respect, if you promote that your students are getting job frequently, rather if you say that your alumni is a very great successful entrepreneur, I'm quite sure that nowadays in every aspect you will earn the more respect. So that's why I should say that the manufacturing revolution facilities increase the productivity, and as some of the industry representatives is also participating here. I must say that the workforce, the trend, the scalability, the production range, and international market feasibility, everything will be depend on how you can utilize this technology in your industrial or entrepreneurial activities. And at the same time, the global labor force is one of the rates and employment to population ratio. The youth is contributing more, and definitely the youth is one of the 15 to 24, those who are representing in the university education. So definitely the people, those who are in front of me, I'm quite sure that when you started, you are not getting the opportunity to starting your journey with the smartphone. You see, even I myself, when I was started in the business, I never got the opportunity to use the smartphone. But I'm quite lucky because in 1990, when I started my business, from 1990, I utilized one organizer. It's called KCU. I hope that some of you may have heard about it. So from 1990, whenever I am just carrying the KCU, a lot of people laughing with me, why you are carrying this such a big, because in that time the KCU organizer was very big, like a small laptop. So, but I am quite lucky because I started my business career with a KCU organizer. So whatever information and whatever communication or contact I am getting from my day one and until today, no information I'm just losing. Just a few minutes back while we are talking, I searched how many UKM professor I met last few years. So Datu Mustafa, I think I met with him in 2007 or 2006. So you see, these sorts of lot of information I saw the UKM. I found the 28 people I met last few years with the UKM faculty or some other people. So this is one of my, I should say, one of my key area that whenever I am getting opportunity, I am trying to keep all of the data because I know that data is important than money. So I should say that the youth is very active for keeping these sorts of information. That's why we need to develop them, considering the technological aspect. And you know that the today's buzzword disruption, digitalization, IoT, big data, smart city, everything is related to the technology. Of course, without data, it is impossible nowadays to identify what's going on. Because you see, in the USA, if you're asking to set up one petrol pump or one food chain, I think they will not allow you if the data is not already giving the proper information. Then how much people are moving in that area, how much this residential and who is stopping over for getting the fuel. These sorts of all data, if not accurate, I think the USA's economy is now settled in such a way, they will not allow you to give the license. So that's why data is one of the important factor, and definitely the internet, IoT and all other things is nowadays need to be incorporated in your education system at the same time in the business also. And of course, digital disruption, everything, so just I don't like to go through the detail. Of course, the Uber is one of the largest, this is the largest taxi company, but those who do not have no taxi, at the same time one largest hotel company, Airbnb, that they don't have any hotel, and at the same time one largest phone company, Skype and WeChat and other, even the WhatsApp, they do not have any telco company. So these also, the Alibaba, Facebook, and you see the Facebook, I think it's open our eye. Whatever efforts every day we are doing, I think this now the program is also live telecast. You see, the Facebook is getting benefited. With all of our efforts, every day we are putting a lot of data, a lot of information, what we are doing, a lot of the status we are giving in our timeline. But who is getting the benefit? At the end of the moment, the Facebook is getting the benefit. They are earning billion dollar with our all effort, because everybody is now pushing. Especially I know the Malaysia, Bangladesh, Indonesia, these sorts of countries, they are more contributed in the Facebook. And Facebook is also earning a lot of money from this country. So that's why I should say that the Netflix, and at the same time, that the any kinds of apps, if you like to download from either Google or either Apple, but they do not have any apps, or they are the largest apps provider. And every day they are earning money, every second they are earning money. So that's why I should say the young worker perform better than adults in technology-rich environment, which the university system need to transform. And the industry should come forward, and industry and education, this linkage need to be established as much as possible. And from my university, I also lucky to say that all of our successful entrepreneurs in our country, we are inviting them in our university. They share their experience with our students, and gradually we are trying to incorporate their idea and their knowledge in our educational system. And Bangladesh, if I'm not wrong, maybe still in the Southeast Asia, we are the first university. 4 years back, we established Department of Entrepreneurship. So just recently, we renamed our company. It's called the Bachelor of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And I know that the UKM also need to be more forward to establish the independent department, individual department, Department of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, where the young people should involve. And as you know, the fintech startup is also play a very good role because day by day, the day is coming, people are earning more money, so money need to be also utilized properly. So that's why technology, that fintech is playing a very good role. And I know this one of the company, I just put it here, the Bikash, and of course a lot of you know the Alipay. So when Alibaba is become successful, they are already spending and spread out the whole world. Now they already making very popularized their Alipay. I think this China is already, they are utilized the Alipay, and I know that the Malaysia is also starting few, and at the same time they also entered the Bangladesh. So one of the companies I putting here, the Bikash. This is a very great company in Bangladesh. I think they are now is dominating in the world fintech industry. So because you know Bangladesh has a lot of the people, those who are working in the abroad, especially you know the Malaysia also, you will find a lot of worker from Bangladesh. So this Bikash is now playing a very good role. The worker earlier, they are facing a lot of trouble to send their money. So now through the Bikash, they can send their money to their parents, their brother, their sister, or their wife, or their father and mother very quickly without facing any hassle. So day by day, this fintech and a lot of this technology, I'm quite sure that touch and go and everything, I think that every day you are seeing a lot of these technologies coming. Maybe you are going to the buy something in the shop, you don't need to pay cash, rather you can utilize your smartphone or wallet or smart wallet. So that's why I think that educational system is need to integrate also the fintech, because we don't know what will be the next. And maybe you know there's it was considered that maybe next time whenever you enter to any shop, you don't need to say that I like to pay. You don't need to carry the card also. If you wish you like to pay, I think that's maybe your wish will be executed in near future. So that's why the emerging tools to boost entrepreneurship. As I already started the entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship, a lot of people asking me, if everybody is become entrepreneur, then who will become the worker or who will get in the job? I think this is the, of course, that everybody cannot become the entrepreneur. But again, you need to find out the who has the skill to become entrepreneur. If you can create a lot of entrepreneur, it means there is a plenty of job opportunity will be there. So from our university, it's a very young university, we started in 2002. It's almost 16 years university, but we are lucky that almost 1200 plus entrepreneur we created. So what happened, our university student now, they are very reluctant. They know their senior brother, their alumni is very successful entrepreneur. So they are getting job from their fellow brother or fellow alumni very easily. So if you create more entrepreneur, as I already mentioned, Dr. Lee, I think he's a very successful entrepreneur. And I'm quite sure that you can proudly represent your student, and he can easily working as a mediator and also the network provider for getting the opportunity for your student job placement. So that's why I should say the entrepreneurial activities, and at the same time, I'm sure those who are sitting in front of us, sometimes you are your mother, your father, or your brother. So you should keep your eye open. Maybe your son or your brother has an entrepreneurial spirit. You need to find out his or her entrepreneurial spirit. If you find that his or her entrepreneurial spirit is very good, please push him to become entrepreneur. Because this is true that everybody cannot become the entrepreneur. But at the same time, it is your responsibility to find out that who is really become the real entrepreneur. Because I must say that due to time shortage, I cannot say a lot of example. Because personally, a lot of students, I picked them and I told them, you can become a successful entrepreneur. They are surprised that how can it possible. I'm saying, look, after doing 2 years or 3 year job, you try to escape the job and start your entrepreneurial activities, and I'm sure you can become a successful entrepreneur. And very frankly speaking, the few of them are unbelievable successful now. And even that few days back, I was participating in one interview. It was a live interview, and it was entrepreneurship. Suddenly, the television channel told me, now we are showing another interview of a successful young entrepreneur. You can see in the television screen. So I saw that one of my fellow that whom I motivated him to become an entrepreneur. I'm saying, is he know that I will be here? Well, no, he did not know that he will be in the live telecast. So that's why I should say that I personally try to disseminate this information, that as much as you can create entrepreneur, it's you proud. You can proudly say. So the smart city, of course, as the previous slide, You know that the smart city is also a demand, and maybe a lot of you may have heard that Taiwan is the first, especially the Taipei, is the first city of this Asia region that who already declared the smart city. So almost all of the technology, I think this Taipei is already introduced, which I'm quite sure that gradually can be introduced in Malaysia and some other city also in Malaysia, and of course the other neighboring country. So by this way, Malaysia, UKM and other universities, and I know that the Malaysian government is also adopted the Industrial Revolution 4 in the educational area. I think they already made one policy, as a few minutes back you also mentioned. So that's why Internet of Things, I hope that you understood, because a lot of the gadget, a lot of the technology is coming. I think nowadays, before going to sleep, I think without seeing the smartphone, we cannot able to go to the sleep. After wake up, we also need to check our smartphone, what schedule and or what alarming or what alert or what message is coming for us. So that's why the IoT is also need to be involved in the educational system at the same time in our day-to-day activities. We are using a lot of technology, like I'm quite sure the Malaysia is also very popular to utilize the WhatsApp. But how much you are using the WhatsApp, I don't know, because if I'm giving one of my example, because I run my office, almost 80% job I'm doing through WhatsApp. What I'm doing, I don't need to physical meeting with my staff. What I'm doing, if I'm talking with one of my staff, I'm keeping its record and send it to the all relevant 16 or 20% through the WhatsApp. So what happened, they can easily follow the all conversation, what I'm doing with one of my fellow staff. And sometimes you see that maybe I'm in the traffic jam. In the traffic jam or some other places I am stuck. Suddenly one of good ideas came to my mind. Hey, I can implement this one in my office. So instantly I put record to the WhatsApp and I send it to all of my relevant people. Can you go through this idea and you can implement it? So I am also keeping the one of the tracking, because you know that I have a lot of company. I developed almost 45 company, 10 company I sold, but still I'm running 35 company. So sometimes you see the lot of ideas coming in the lot of area. Maybe I'm just, Bangladesh, some of you may aware about Bangladesh. The traffic jam is unbelievable, severe traffic jam in Bangladesh. So that's why I love to say it's still opportunity for Bangladesh to invest by the other people, because we need to sort out this traffic problem. So whenever I'm getting any idea of the traffic solution, I send it to the relevant people, to the WhatsApp. So this idea, or I'm taking the picture, so look, this is the Thailand, they did the solution. Few days back I was in Kolkata. So suddenly Kolkata is also, they changed a lot of the good system in the traffic. So I took the picture and I sent it to our Minister of the Traffic, the Roads and Highways. I said, look, this is the opportunity, I saw this one, so you can follow it. So that's why I should say the WhatsApp, but these sorts of technology we are using every day. So, but we need to utilize it properly and give the maximum benefit for our development. And again, as I mentioned earlier, the big data, this data is one of the key factors. Without data, it is impossible nowadays to identify our day-to-day activities and develop us also. So as I mentioned a few minutes back, in my smartphone, I have almost 100,000 plus contact number. So when I'm changing my mobile, I think always the operator is, they are surprised to seeing my data. Because as I already mentioned, from 1992 until today, whatever data I have, I never lost my data. And I always keep my data in the cloud, Google, and every places. Because I know that I can, any times I lost my mobile, but I don't like to lose my data. So that's why nowadays, how can you utilize your data? How can you utilize and customize and utilize the technology? That should be the important factor. And of course, we need to depend on the cloud computing, and you need to also utilize your student and your fellow staff also. I'm sure there's those who are coming from the industry. So I give you one example. I hope that it will be very much beneficial for your industry and to control your subordinate. Few months back, we make a mandatory system in our staff that you will not getting any promotion or increment if you are not develop your own Google site. So everybody was surprised. Why and how we'll develop the Google site? It's very funny, because without taking any help from any designer or coder or programmer, you can develop your own site with the help of the Google site. Very professionally you can develop your website in the Google site. And all information like your video, audio, text, presentation, everything you can develop with the Google site. So what happened? I developed few of my stuff and I give this video documentary and send it to all of my staff. So after seeing this one, I think within 2 months, now 99% of our people now they are making their Google site. So what happened? It's the very beauty of this technology. If any of my staff is left or leave my organization, it doesn't matter because all information, all of his or her tracking is in the Google site. So if anybody leaves within 1 hour, it does not matter. Within few seconds, I can just delegate to this responsibility to the other people. So this is the technology. So that's why what happened. Without cloud computing, it is impossible because you need a lot of data. Because all of this data, I think Google site mapping, some people needs 10 gigabyte or 12 gigabyte data. So if we are not able to utilize the cloud computing, I think it will be impossible for manage the whole data. So that's why I should say that please you try to also use the Google site mapping. You will find it's an amazing technology and you will be headache free also. If any people is left or any people is not helping you, it does not matter. You can get it within few seconds. And of course, the artificial intelligence also is playing a very good role because especially the education sector and especially as you also mentioned, that Imran is also mentioned as a research university. I hope that you should utilize the artificial intelligence as much as possible because it is very easy to interact and to disseminate this information through this AI technology. And at the same time, so, there's a Bitcoin and blockchain, you already know about it. Because in future, it was considered that physical money will be removed. Maybe it will not take much time because maybe there is still some lot of controversial matter is going on. The Bitcoin and Bitcoin was very controversial earlier, but now a lot of countries, they already allow Bitcoin. And that's the founder of the Bitcoin, he was arrested also because it was considered that it was illegal, but now he was getting the all permission from the various countries. So that's why it was considered that in the near future, the virtual money will play the key role. And at the same time, the robots is also need to involve in the education system because sometimes we are talking that if the robots is coming, then maybe a lot of people will become jobless. It doesn't matter. Because if we use the technology properly, I think people will not get the jobless. Rather, a lot of job opportunity will be created through utilizing the proper robots and other technology. And of course, at the same time, virtual reality and augmented reality is also playing a key role. I think God is sending us in this world with a very limited time. We don't know, we don't have the control about the the body watch. I think inside our body there is a watch. The clock is set by the God, but we do not know how long we will be surviving this world. So if we have the ability to know that how long we will be surviving the world, maybe we can talk with or we can see our body watch or body clock. So that's why what happened, we need the virtual reality and augmented reality. We like to see the whole world. We like to know everything, but it is impossible. But if we can utilize the virtual reality and augmented reality, we can utilize this strength because, of course, this is the opportunity is getting by the technology. And machine learning and natural language processing is also, our brain has a lot of capacity and it was considered the brain, whatever strength we are using from our brain, it is 2%. I think 98% is unutilized. So that's why I should say that the Industrial Revolution 4 is giving the more opportunity to utilize our brain because God is giving us the unbelievable opportunity. Sometimes we talk that computer is powerful, but our brain is more powerful than computer. But we cannot utilize it properly. So that's why these sorts of language and these sorts of education system need to be involved. Again, as I come to the back to entrepreneurship. So of course the Industrial Revolution 4 and definitely the entrepreneurship, both of them can work hand to hand. So if you can promote the more entrepreneur, because whatever entrepreneur is creating, say I myself is also my subject was statistics. And my subject was statistics while I studied in statistics in 1983 and you see in that time there was no computer science, but I'm very lucky in 1985 suddenly one of our department chairman, he already took initiative to introduce the computer science in the statistics department in my university. So I'm one of the lucky that I got in 1985 and 1986 to learn computer. But it's very tough because in that time our teacher, they are not allow us to enter to the computer room because it was considered that if we enter to the computer room, it maybe we can affect a virus, because in that time we do not know that what is called virus. So he told that if any dust is already going to the computer, then it will be affected by the virus. So we are not able to see the computer in that time as much as we need in that time to learn more. But we learned Q basic and GW basic in that time, and luckily I got the highest mark, 99%. That's give me the confidence, because I just assume myself, because my father was a businessman. He was not very successful businessman, but I always thinking that if I get the opportunity, I like to prove myself that I'm a right businessman. So after completion of my education, I started my business considering that simple knowledge, GW basic and Q basic. Only the computer background is very small, but with this spirit, I started my computer business in 1990, and definitely I must thanks to the God, because I took the right decision. And that's why I should say that if the student is getting the opportunity in the education system, considering their entrepreneur mindset, I'm quite sure that UKM will able to produce a lot of entrepreneurs in near future. And of course, you know our Harvard, why they are very famous, due to cause of entrepreneurial activities, and MIT, and both of you know. So that's why I should say that the emerging digital technology to develop and implement digital manufacturing strategies for their own organization. If student can learn, if student study in university, I'm not getting an opportunity to interact with the industry. But nowadays, you see the UR alumni, and as a Bangi, you already mentioned that a lot of the industry is situated in this area. So it's a great opportunity for this UK also to interact with the industry, visiting them, trying to understand the pulse of the industry, and try to put their efforts also. Coming back from the industry, if they can develop, and they are these sorts of as emerging the digital technologies, if the manufacturing strategy, if they can put together, I'm quite sure that you can find out a lot of the good talented people. And of course, as we understood that we need a lot of producers should work for the workers' competency, because we know if the worker competency is not coming forward, because as a few minutes back our brother Bukhari has already mentioned that they are facing problem for worker, but competent worker. So they always searching to get the competent worker. But I'm quite sure the university is producing a lot of students, but their competency need to be also addressed properly with the technological merging. And you know this entrepreneurs come up with the innovation and components of industrial revolution for stimulate the growth of entrepreneurship, as I mentioned, because these sorts of diversified and disruptive technology, if student can getting knowledge, because as I mentioned a few minutes back, we also introduce in our university another component that every student before their graduation, they must produce their video resume. And if you search the top 10 video resume now in YouTube, I'm quite sure you will find at least one, because we just started it few months back. But within these few months, our one or two students, you will find the top 10 video resume in the whole world. Because we started just few months back, that every student need to produce their video resume, so that they should present themselves properly before appearing to the employer. And at the same time, some of Malaysian universities also, they are doing the same thing. Because top 10 resume, I found that Malaysia is also playing a very good role. There is a 3 to 4 Malaysian, some university, I forget the university name, but when I searched to the YouTube, I found that a few Malaysian universities also starting the same thing. So that's why I should say that these sorts of innovative components, you need to transform your student. And by this way, you can find it that entrepreneurial-minded student also. Some of the new and emerging technologies substitute labor and other complement it. I hope that few components we need it, because some robots or some technology we need it. Say suppose if you can put in one robots in front of a university campus 24 hours, and to find out the best solution, but it is impossible to find out the best solution from a human. Sometimes human may become tired. Maybe they are not in perform. They needs to go to some toilet or some other thing or fooding. But if we put some machineries or some robots to perform the best solution, I'm quite sure we will get the best solution. So that's why Nowadays, it is very clear that we need to change, and we need to, this different mind and different people, we need to use in different way. So, thank you very much. I think I don't like to prolong it, rather I love to get some of the question, and if you have, considering my few slides. Please.
First, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. I'm Azuddin from the Entrepreneurship Center as well as the Graduate School of Business. I have two questions. Number one, when you want to bring about technology to education system in Bangladesh, what are the main challenges that you face and how do you overcome these challenges?
Well, first of all, that's the first time it's true that the faculty, I'm so sorry, there's a lot of faculty, so you don't misunderstand me. It is the first challenge we find that our faculty is not changing their mindset. Always we love to say them out of box, but they don't like to change their traditional system. So this one, we are finding seriously to change in the technology in the education system. So, but luckily we made it mandatory. So suppose in our university, you will be happy to know that 100% of our educational system, especially the faculty, all courses, they must need to be uploaded in the blending education. It's called Moodle, and we have the Google Classroom also. So this, by this way, we can also find out that how much they are equipped, because every faculty will not in the same trend. So by uploading their all class to the Google site, we can easily identify who is very much focused on technology. So bringing them in the front line and trying to utilize them to develop the other area. So I think that's it was a very big challenge for us first time, but nowadays it's common, because we are common because any of the faculty or any of the student entering to our university, they realize that this is a university, you have to maintain it. So suppose as you are from the scholarship department, so we are not providing any scholarship in any way, but to any student, if he or she is not equipped, his all performance, all academic background to upload it in the system. They need to promote it and produce it through the system. If they can prove it that yes, it is in the automated system, we can track it from any places, then we can bring him in the interview board to appear to get the scholarship. I hope these sorts of some module you can implement it. I'm sure you will find a good result.
My second question is related to the mindset that you mentioned. Here we face the challenge of changing the students' mindset in terms of migrating from the traditional way of doing entrepreneurship to technology-based of doing entrepreneurship. We want as much to encourage our students to venture into tech-based entrepreneurship. The university is creating what we are going to call the digital lab, inshallah next year. And this is an effort to change that. But what we found taking place, unfortunately, is that students will fall back onto the traditional way of doing business. They like to sell goods and things which is easily available in the market. So what would your advice be in this case? How do we tackle this issue? And number two, at the same time, we have problem with changing the mindsets of parents, because parents expect students who study engineering will become engineers. So to venture into entrepreneurship would be the last resort or last option, perhaps. Right? So how again do we change this mindset of parents at the same time?
So thank you. This is a very good question. It's a good question. First of all, the student mindset, this is true. They always try to follow the common trends, what is already available, which we call the blue ocean strategy, red ocean strategy. They don't like to go to the blue ocean strategy. So what happens? You can make some competition like Hall Prize, like TEDx, like Getting the Ring. These sorts of international few events you need to encourage. And if you like to involve in your university, I think luckily our university is very strong. And you know that the Hall Prize, it was considered a students' Nobel winner, because so these sorts of international some competition you need to incorporate in your university through these various clubs, so that the whenever student seeing that these sorts of out of box, or that they will change their mindset, because first time we also faced the same problem, but now gradually we are finding the best talented students, they are coming forward. So this is one of the area, and at the same time, first time, as I already mentioned, the scholarship and some other beneficial area, you also try to find out the student, those who are coming to the extraordinary way. Then you just try to recognize them. So suppose sometimes you are already giving them some priority to sending student exchange some other program. So give the priority to that student, those who are innovative, and try to disseminate this information to his friend. So this way you can find out the best student, those who can motivate to the other student. And the second, the parents, the important factor in this area, the parents is an important factor. So we organize one Parents Day. So I'll give you the example. It's very tough we organize one Parents Day. And last Parents Day, there is 1,500 parents participated. So what I did personally I took one initiative. I hope that maybe you can follow it. So I made a mandatory to this Parents Day to all of the students. You need to earn by yourself at least few hundred taka. I should say few dollar. It is your responsibility to earn it by yourself. Either selling flower, either begging money, whatever way. But don't take money to give the gift to your parents in this Parents Day from your parents' pocket. Rather you earn it. If you fail to earn it, then come to us, we will give you the money. But you need to prove in front of your parents that you are incapable to earn money for your parents. Because why? I tell to the student, look, as a student, if you cannot earn $1 or $10 for your parents, then your parents is already spending all of their money to graduate you or to study you. But so while you will be grow up, you will never look after about your parents, because at the time of the Parents Day, you cannot able to give a one flower also give. If you don't earn, buy a one flower, give it to your father, but you need to give it with your earning money. So it's very successful, and then I told to the parent, by this way you can also find out how much talented, how entrepreneurial mindset of your parent. So this way we motivate the parents, and I think the parents is right now, they are already eager. Now the parents said, okay, you go to the university, try to become entrepreneur. I said, look, follow us. I myself is one, if I am going to the job, so I cannot provide now few thousand people I can give the job, and a lot of these successful people working under me. So why you are not promoting your son to become an entrepreneur? So parents are now very curious, and even that I wrote one book. I'll give it one book. It's written by me, the handbook or a journey of entrepreneurship. So I give it to the few students as a gift. So students send me the message, sir, my father is already taking it from me, and he already eager to go through the whole books. So that's why we are trying to motivate our parents. I hope maybe you can follow. In the Parents Day, if you call, like you, a lot of successful alumni, if you call and share their experience, whenever they represent themselves in front of the parents, look, I am XYZ. You say, I am very successful. So why you are not thinking that your kids is also follow as me or to become an entrepreneur? Because why parents is not eager to promote their son or daughter to become entrepreneur? Because they love too much. They love too much. They don't like to carry any pain, any risky job for their kids. But I'm quite sure that you should take some initiative.
Thank you, Mr. Sabor. Just for your information, the director of UCAM Korea, Dr. Chang, is here this morning. So the UCAM Korea and UCAM SESMAC, the Entrepreneurial and Small Medium Enterprise Development, they work very closely together. Of course, the measurement now, the KPI used by the ministry is employability, but we should take, entrepreneurship as being the larger measure in time to come. And currently, I think 10%? 10% is on entrepreneurship. Just now you mentioned vlog, video resume. We started this about 3 or 4 years ago, right?
3 years back.
3 years back. But we treat it as a process. That means from year one, students must have a video resume, and then by the time they graduate, they will keep on adding to their video resume to make sure that they can then spot what are what they need to improve on and so on. So we use it as a process, rather than a product at the end. Can I pick up on your point about traditional and technopreneurs? Technopreneurs, right? So currently a lot of students still fall back on the traditional, meaning that they go for food, perfume,
Food, cloth.
clothing. Same thing in Bangladesh, right? And your suggestion is that we have targeted, there will still be a balance, right? Targeted technopreneur challenge. Do we do that?
We are trying to start with one round of competition very soon with the collaboration with Usani. So that's our first edition.
But need the best case study because you need to promote them because some of these successful entrepreneurs, those who are coming to the techno entrepreneur, so you should bring them and they should encourage to the other people because otherwise everyone try to follow the traditional system which is very competitive.
There are success stories which you can share. One is one of the engineering students developed this what you call drone-based software for capturing events. So, for example, in the room now we have a static camera. So he has this developed this drone-based software where you can have outdoor activities and they capture it. Very, very sophisticated software for controlling the drone, and then it's automated and they can follow you around. There is also the one on, of course, Uber-like software. So there are, but we would like to see that more. Maybe 80% of those are developed by the students rather than the other way around, 20-80. Are there any other questions? Please just, Gary. Yeah. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Assalamualaikum. I'm Ismail Ahmed. I'm from Institute for Environment and Development Study, IKM. My question is, Industrial Revolution 4.0 also focus on sustainability. So I want to know also how you will adopt and adapt the Industrial Revolution 4.0 for the harmony between the development and the environmental sustainability, and how we prioritize these things.
Well, I think this, in respect of the environment, nowadays, this all manufacturing plant and all equipment is gradually trying to, because this is also one of the factors. Once upon a time, any sorts of production, they don't bother about the environment. But now you see that the international compliances and all of these agencies, they are very much focused about the environmental pollution. So that's why what happened, you see in machineries and everything, if we consider in our country, so I think that this would be best example. Bangladesh is the number 2nd in the apparel industry, garments industry. So our garments industry, 99%, they don't bother about the environment. But now what happened, the international, all buyers, they put the restriction. If your industry is not environment pollution free, if you don't have the environment treatment plan, ETP, and this compliance, if not cover up, then we will not purchase. Like all big players, Macy's, Walmart, and Nike, Adidas, they are just very strict that we will not purchase anything. So what happened? Maximum company is now they are already investing a lot of money. So they are also inviting the other people or other buyers that you see that any sorts of environment pollution related any component you are finding in my factory or not. So this is, you see, gradually I hope that if you just utilize the technology, you must need to be also involved. At the same time, you see that I should say the robotics and other things you can utilize for making the environmental sustainable. So suppose in any drain, I saw the coming to the UKM, I found there is a lot of lake. So if you like to make 100% pure water, so it is very tough to use the people because manually it is tough. But if you use the technology, if you use some industrial and this Revolution 4 technology for cleaning water, it's very easy. So that's why to make it sustainable, I think not only water, every places this component need to be implemented.
There are questions from the industry panel? Yeah, industry.
My name is Hasbi Ismail. I'm from Malaysian Environment Foundation. Perhaps just to divert the focusing on entrepreneurship of graduates, we are looking at the scenario of the industry at current moment in Malaysia. So we are heading towards IR 4.0, in which at present Dr. Sabur, I would like to hear from you, perhaps to share your experience, because for Malaysian workforce, particularly in the SME, small medium enterprises, they have, if they want to move into IR 4.0, some of the challenges faced, perhaps budget restriction, you have to change to hybrid, and then the employee pushback. That means that perhaps since you have less skilled workers in the workforce, so we also have lack of expertise to lead these workers towards IR 4.0. I would like to hear from you if you would like, if you can share the experience in Bangladesh companies. How do they do this towards achieving the IR industrial revolution of the workforce in Bangladesh?
Well, thank you. I think first of all I should say that Bangladesh still only the apparel industry and few other industry they are already implementing this thing. But 99% I am quite sure still they are not moving forward. But technologically, but what happened, Bangladesh, this industry, because Bangladesh industry is very popular right now because cause of they are utilizing the technology. And another thing I should say that all of the worker getting the lot of training from the relevant technology, because this is one of the factors, as you already mentioned, that budgetary factors need to be also considered to adopt this industrial 4. But at the same time, if you develop your skill metrics and skill people in the properly to utilize the technology, and then I'm quite sure that you will get the benefit, and slowly you can uplift it considering the demand of the market. Because you see, you should adapt right now, not in the 3rd level, right? In the European, they are already implement in the 3rd level, but you should introduce 1st level. And then you can develop your this level, and then slowly you can go to the 3rd level. And of course, as you already mentioned, that 28% and 35% is considered for Malaysian skilled worker. This is also you just make them proper training, and proper training with the technology, because as I already mentioned that without technological involvement, I'm quite sure you cannot reach to your destination.
Prof. Dato, can I share a little bit of the success story of UKM on this preparing our workforce for IR? We do have, I think, for last 2 years, 189 students has gone through these professional certification courses for IR. They have taken some courses like IoT, cyber security, and so forth. And we are very glad about 60% of them that has gotten the certification. And this is where they elevate the, to prepare. In fact, they are actually funded by HRDF. You have to give credit to Human Resource Development Fund. And one course I understand that it will take about 10,000. So in total that we get benefited about 2 million ringgit by this HRDF. And I would say that it's just a beginning. I think that it started about 2 years back, and currently that we have to prepare for the next wave. We have yet to receive the other funding for that purpose. So just a little bit of sharing for what our government is also helping the university, and then the preparation of this 4IR.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. Wish all of you great good luck.
Thank you.